Good evening, everyone. So we're going to start. Before we start with that, I wanted to show you about the activities in phase 1. So remember that you had to upload the problem recognition that you find in your context and these kind of things. Now we are in intermediate moment, and it is until March 17. Okay, let's see it here. Discussion forum. It is open until, yeah. So here it goes until March 24. Sorry, March 24. Okay. So remember the steps that you have for that. Remember to participate in the forum and this kind of thing. Okay. So continue with that. We are going to start with our web conference, which is this one. And it is what makes research good in education and language pedagogy. So our session objectives are understand key features of high-quality educational research, differentiate opinion from evidence-based research, recognize research as professional empowerment, and apply research concepts to language teaching, develop identity as teachers' researchers. First of all, we're going to watch a small video.
Future trends. Today, we are zooming into the future of education.
Este 8 de marzo, pide el tarjetón de consulta y vota Claudia Presidenta.
Tu hogar necesita full velocidad. Con internet de Tigo, navega con 500 megas desde...
Hello everyone, I'm Bernard Ma, author of over 20 best-selling books on future trends. Today, we are zooming into the future of education, specifically what learning might look like by 2035. As technology continues to evolve, the educational landscape is set to transform in some truly amazing ways. First up, immersive virtual learning environments. Imagine stepping into a classroom where you can interact with tutors and peers from around the globe as if they were right next to you. Thanks to advancements in VR and AR, students in 2035 will experience highly immersive educational environments. This means conducting complex science experiments or exploring ancient civilizations through sophisticated simulations, all from the classroom or the comfort of your home. Next, let's talk about AI-driven adaptive learning. Personalization is the future of education. AI will enable a tailored learning experience for every student, adapting in real time to suit individual learning styles and needs. AI mentors will not only guide academic learning, but also offer psychological support, making learning a more intuitive and supportive process. However, this raises important questions about privacy and the evolving role of teachers, from content delivery to facilitation. Then there's neurotechnology and accelerated learning. This might sound like science fiction, but brain-computer interfaces like Neuralink could soon revolutionize how we learn. These technologies might initially help students with disabilities, but could eventually enhance everyone's ability to absorb and retain information rapidly. Lastly, the concept of lifetime learning. The idea of having one job for life is becoming obsolete. Continuous education will be necessary, with digital transformation demanding constant adaptation. Expect more on-the-job training and upskilling opportunities delivered through modular and micro-learning formats to accommodate the fast pace of change. By 2035, education won't just be about acquiring knowledge. It will be about continuously adapting and enhancing your skills throughout your lives. This shift will prepare us not just for the next job, but for a series of roles that may not even exist yet.
Okay, continue with our topics. So, there is a situation or an activity that you can do at home, and it is think about a classroom problem you have observed. Discuss with somebody else, with a partner, what does it happen? And what information would you need to understand is better? Share ideas in the group. So this is an activity that you can do at home, talk to a classmate or a friend or even your girl or boyfriend. So, and do this exercise and let's see how is it going? Okay. So what is educational research? Well, educational research is a systematic and organized investigation. It uses reliable and ethical methods. It is based on data and evidence and aims to improve teaching and learning and connects theory with practice. What it means? That, of course, theory needs to go to practice. Everything that you mentioned, that you said, you need to put into practice. And of course, it is with evidence. If you don't have the evidence, it is not going to work, okay? So it means that it is biased or it is not valid, whatever, these kind of things. So the point here is evidence of that, okay? Characteristics of good research: clear and focused research question. What happened here? Usually we are going to find questions like, do you read books? Or do you think students learn English in, like in a better way listening to songs? So these kind of questions like, do you, like short questions for researching doesn't work, okay? Why? Because you can answer the question, yes, no, and that's it, without creating or doing research, okay? Relevant theoretical framework. You need to have the basis, the strong theories about your research, okay? Appropriate methodology. So you need to follow the steps. Reliable and valid data. Of course, that it has to be real, it has to be valid, that it has to be accurate. And ethical responsibility. So in this case, you cannot be subjective, you need to be objective. You cannot mix personal things, you cannot mix personal experience, just what you see in the classroom or the things that you see in the world you are doing research. Transparent analysis and conclusions, it is the same, just the thing that you found, not what you think, because it is totally different, okay? Otherwise, it is not valid and you have to start or do a new research project. So in this case, it is important to have like opinion versus research. So opinion is based on beliefs and personal experience. It's what I think, it's what I just believe. And it is not a systematic data collection. That's one of the points here. Research based on empirical evidence and uses structured methods and can be evaluated and replicated. So what it means? That somebody at some point of their lives are going yeah, is going to study these kind of things. You're study, of course, but probably adding something else, okay? So that's why you need to be objective at the moment you're going to evaluate this, okay? Now, this is an activity that you can do too, and it is a teacher notices low students' participation, possible causes, anxiety, task design, motivation. What data could be collected? What methods would you see? According to that topics, how you could do that, okay? There is more activity that you can do and think about it, of course. Why research matters for teachers? It improves instructional decisions, encourages reflective practice, supports innovation in classrooms, builds professional credibility, links teaching to academic knowledge. Okay, so it is important because nowadays, if we don't do research, we are like in standby. Okay, so we need to, and we can do a lot of things with research. Okay, so of course, one of the point here is that you can innovate, okay? You can do different things. Research as teacher empowerment. Teachers become knowledge producers. Of course, when you read, when you search, when you look for, when you interact, you are going to acquire more knowledge. Greater autonomy in pedagogy. Yes, of course, you can be your own pedagogy. So you can create a great pedagogy at the moment you're going to teach this, or you're going to implement the research. A strong professional identity, yes, because as researcher, we have like an identity, okay, I do research, okay. Participation in academic communities, yes, also because nowadays we're going to find different grupos de investigación, semilleros, like these kind of things. So you can do it. Influence on curriculum and policy. So of course, when you have your curriculum, or yeah, you can include that you have you have done research, okay, which is really important nowadays because most of the works or the jobs ask about, do you have something in research? Probably yes, probably no. We never know. Examples in language education research. Investigating speaking anxiety in EFL learners. Evaluating text-based learning activities. Analyzing corrective feedback strategies. Studying digital tools for vocabulary learning. Exploring peer assessment practice. Those are some of the examples, but of course you can find a lot of them that you can study or you can research in your context, in your classroom, okay? So those are some of them. Anxiety is the common one, right? Feedback could be a great one because how we can improve these strategies, because sometimes they are like hard for people who are receiving the feedback. And of course, digital tools for vocabulary. That's why you are here, like starting this master program. So you can create a new one, okay? Group activity. So it is an activity that you can do later if you have the time. And it is in group of 3 or 4 students identify one classroom issue, write a research question, and suggest data collation tools and present your idea. Okay, so basically, here is what you want to do. Could work. Okay. So here is the classroom research cycle. So identify a pedagogical problem, review relevant literature, formulate research questions, select methods, collect and analyze data, reflect and implement changes. Okay, this is basically like this whole circle, like identify, review, formulate, select, collect, and reflect. And again, identify and try to do a change. Because sometimes with research, we want to implement a change. We want to implement something new, which is great, okay? So becoming a teacher researcher, observe systematically, question assumptions, document classroom practices, analyze student responses, and share findings professionally. This is another activity that you can do at home, and it is what kind of teacher do you want to be? How can research support your goals? What challenges do you foresee? Write a short reflection. This one is really important. For example, the first one, what kind of teacher do you want to be? Are you being the teacher that you want, that you are right now? So question yourself how it is for you. Benefit for the students, more relevant learning experiences, inclusive teaching strategies, better feedback and assessments, improved motivation, and higher academic achievement. So when the students see something new, they pay attention to the class. They show motivation to the class to learn a new topic. So this is great when we are going to implement a research or maybe a grammatical topic, but with a new strategy, with a new thing. So it calls their attention. So it's really important for them. So as a conclusion, good research is systematic and ethical. Remember, ethical. Why? Because you cannot just say what you think. You need evidence, as it is said here. Evidence strengthens teaching practice. Teachers are agents of change. So we need to change, we need to improve, we need to innovate. What? Research starts in everyday classrooms. With a simple issue that you find in the classroom, you can start your research. Okay? And you are future teacher researchers. So you are colleagues. So you now are going to be researchers, which are, this is a good tool for you in the future, okay? So, as I said, investigating these kind of things help students to pay attention, to do the things with more motivation, that, well, like be involved in the context. So that's basically what I wanted to tell you about it today. And it was about the what makes good research. Okay, so hopefully next time we can see through the screen. Hopefully you can participate, you can assist to the web conference, because it is really important for you to participate. Okay, so hope to see you soon. Questions, let me know here through Teams, to the forums, to internal email or institutional email if you have questions, okay? Bye-bye.